And what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today was a pretty strong day because the past couple days have been pretty bad days. Being said, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So it looks like GameStop. Might as well get that out of the way. Looks like I got gut punched today, fell to the floor, and it seemed to kind of take the strangle off the market. Again, this is something I talked about in the weekly video I was talking about last week. I wasn't sure if we were in some kind of liquidity crisis or what was going on with GameStop. Again, been watching GameStop. It took, again, a gut shot, hit the floor, the market went up. Coincidence? Could be. I don't know. It's just an observation, obviously. But being said, there's a lot of different things. So the next thing in play was kind of talked about last weekend. I didn't really talk about it, but silver. Silver was a big thing last week. I know they were talking about like last Friday. It started coming up on a lot of Reddit forums and everything. I do believe Wall Street Bets, though, on one side of it was saying they weren't actually pushing that. They were still saying to hold GameStop and AMC. Woke up today. Other people had different plans. Silver was way up, and GameStop, I didn't even actually check AMC, but I know GameStop took one heck of a fall today. But being said, we did rally today. So is it an oversold bounce? Or are we actually going to make a comeback? We aren't in a channel as of right now. Could be an oversold bounce. It could be a lot of different things. Again, I think a big part of it was the GameStop thing. Will GameStop shoot up tomorrow? It very well could. Anything is possible. But I think GameStop just had a strangle on the market. Being said, with people pulling profit and it dropping 30%, the market found its wings again. Big tech found its wings and it started really flying. Not all big tech did. Apple was kind of lagging today. Tesla was kind of lagging. Everything else just kind of took off for the most part. But being said, we have the S&P 500 index here. We are in a channel. I give it that. But being said, I want to point out that, there was some strong support here. Right here, we bounced up. We did struggle to get over that. We reached that last Friday. Was it last Friday? Yeah, and then we came back. I wasn't sure if we were going to pop back up. We sure did. Again, consolidating at another solid support. If we do break above this, I think it's all-time highs again. But depends. I think right now we're kind of in a tough place. Is it a bounce or not? I can't really tell until tomorrow. But being said, we do have earnings. We do have Amazon tomorrow. We do have PayPal. We do have Baba also tomorrow reporting. So we have a lot of major reports tomorrow. Again, looking back on last week, so did Apple, so did Facebook. Tesla, even though they didn't make profits, they still had an awesome earnings, and they tumbled. So is it going to be the same for Amazon? A lot of these future guidance, there's so much uncertainty. I get the fact they drop back and pull back because of the uncertainty, but I think this week will be different. There's a lot of e-commerce this week, and so I think we might actually break through. Everything is actually lining up here. I think we might get a little bit of a pullback here into the 20, into the 50 EMA, and then pop over this 200. Obviously, the 200 resistance isn't very hard to get over the top of it. To get underneath it, it's a little bit harder. You typically get a bigger bounce before it even breaks through majority of the time. But being said, you look at, again, we're above a nice support right now. It's not really saying much right now. Again, there's a lot of different things going on right now. But I was noticing, I don't know if it was here on the daily. On the daily, like I said yesterday on the weekly, I called this out that we were going to get this bounce and we were going to hit that 20. We sure did today. Now the question is tomorrow, do we open up above this, retest, get a little bit of sell-off tomorrow, which would make sense going into Amazon earnings, and then jet from that point? Could happen. Could gap fill this little gap here, go for all-time highs. Kind of expecting that. I don't really know. At this point, do I think we're going to go for all-time highs? I don't really know. I think we might just go retest and possibly drop. Just enough time to get us out of earnings, at least another week and a half. And then I think at that point, I've talked about this, about a drop where I'm going to go mostly all cash. And I'm looking at bonds. I'm looking at TLT as a possible play for when that happens, grabbing a leap on that to play that particular section. I don't really know as of right now. It's essentially doing what I thought it would do. Again, overnight is really going to matter. We need to break over this 200 moving average. We could rattle around overnight and then tomorrow reattempt it. If we don't break it, we could drop from that point. It's very well possible. It's the market. Anything is possible. But it's all game time theory. Game time theory, baby. Being said, Tesla. I'm actually upset I didn't grab this today. Had this nice wick down back in the zone. I wanted to get back in this. Again, I felt like it was too high, although it did drop below 800. I still feel like Tesla's going to be another big mover with the energy and everything this year. So I'm looking to enter a good position in this. I'm just waiting for that correction. I don't believe this is going to be the major correction. I think with earnings, we kind of get these melt-offs right before earnings, I've noticed. And then the earnings will push us up like a week. We'll have a good solid green week, but majority of the weeks seem to be red during February. So being said, that could be very well another possibility here. So Tesla, yeah, I think I'm waiting on this. I'm not planning on jumping but right back in this. I think it's still got some more selling before I get into it. That's just my opinion. Again, we might even go back up to 284. We might retest the top, double top, and then sell from that point. Right now, I think it's just middle ground. It's not someplace I really want to touch it. SQ, this is the golden goose, I think, in my opinion. Still shares, leaps in this guy. It's good to finally see her pulling up over here, breaking this trend line, and getting ready to rock. Again, my opinion, everything is set up nicely on the hourly. On the daily, it's looking nice. If we can open up actually over this, back over this 200 tomorrow, I think we're really going to rip, or at least get to 246, or at least test all-time highs before earnings. Square, I know one thing about Square, though, is that it likes to do this, essentially this pattern where it will test all-time highs and then it will kind of just gravitate there until earnings. And then at that point, it'll make a major move up or down. Again, depends on the market, but that's what I've kind of noticed about Square. I am planning to try to at least get to all-time highs, testing that all-time highs mark. So I'm hoping tomorrow we kind of break this resistance here, this 229 mark. Retest, and I think that will lead us into Wednesday, which is PayPal earnings. If PayPal crushes it, I think Square will have the sympathy play off that and possibly test, if not break, all-time highs at that point. It could happen just because of the crazy, I've talked about this many times about the crypto and Square being another platform for Robinhooders to go to. There's a lot of different catalysts here for Square. So I think that is a possibility. So I'm looking for this to make a major move this week. Again, if it does test all-time highs, my stop and everything will be right underneath there, holding it. So if it wants to break out, I'll just keep pushing up my stop till it tags me out. Also the same with options. Actually, when my options hit all-time high, I'll probably double out my options, just hold shares at that point, and then just write out the shares. Airbnb. I did scalp this today. I took it here. I actually played this perfectly. I took it here out of the zone, wrote it up, cut it out. It's just selling off right now. Not expecting a lot from this. I think this, especially because I'm kind of assuming that there's going to be a correction at the end of the month, the end of the earnings. I think this will pull back a little bit more, maybe even see that 152 mark again. I can see that happening with Airbnb. If it does get down here, I will definitely be loading up on this guy, especially on leaps on this guy, because after that correction, I think come spring, summertime, this guy is going to rip. So especially if vaccines and everything, we get more positive news on that front, I think we're really going to run. Apple still in those leaps with this, still holding well. It looks like it's finally broken out of this wedge, although we're in this upward wedge. So we're looking actually really good right here for Apple. It was kind of struggling here, and I think it was just trying to break that wedge today. But still looking good there. Facebook had a nice move up, bounced off this resistance. I don't want Facebook again unless it's down at 247 mark correction. We'll probably see it down at 247 mark, so just be patient. BYND. This is interesting. I had to actually extend this out because we are just continuing to push this as far right as we can. Normally I would expect a big move out of BYND like this, but it is really high right now. So again, waiting on correction on this one. I do like this one, especially if you can grab it at one of those solid supports. Just load the boat and just wait, and then let it consolidate for a couple of days, and then let it take off. Patience is key. Etsy, I did get an Etsy today. I got in on a pullback, holding this. I do like Etsy, although it's playing this range. So the last thing I really wanted to do is kind of just range this thing. I know Pens has earnings this week too, so we can get a certain sympathy play off that. Etsy isn't until the 14th. So being said, we might rattle around until we get an earnings on this, kind of like Square. But nonetheless, I am Etsy. It's set up nicely. So if it does run and try to test all-time highs, I will actually be following this really close because I'm in leaps in this. So once it gets to that point, I'll be monitoring it and setting alerts and cutting if it drops below that point. Disney, I'm still in this leap, still holding up well. It's playing this. It's actually finally above that 200. It did retest 200 here. Again, I'm thinking because of earnings, we rocket back up and retest all-time highs. QQQ, I need to actually show that real quick too. But Disney is in a good spot. I think if we're open up tomorrow, this is finally got some ceiling, I think, to run a lot more. Yeah, there's a little bit of resistance here, but I think we go back up to all-time highs, retest that before earnings, which I do believe is on the 14th as well. Let me go back to QQQ here. QQQ looks beautiful on the 1 hour, looks beautiful on the daily. The market doesn't look the greatest, but the market also has a lot of value stocks which aren't doing the greatest right now during the pandemic. So being said, hourly or the daily, this looks great. It bounced off, it came back over the 20 moving average and is bouncing back up. On the hourly, again, it's up. All EMAs are pointing normally when they start pointing up, and you have all this support here, plus you have this trend line support. QQQ looks extremely strong right here. I could be wrong, or it could always be wrong, but majority of the time you get a very nice big bull move out of this. Typically, that's what I've experienced in my opinion. Snow's looking good. Finally broke out of that wedge. Finally over the 200 again. But let's see if this time we can actually break and rip and go for 4. There is a huge wedge on this thing. I had drawn out and I removed the top piece of it. I think it was in my video last night, but yeah, there was a huge wedge here and it just broke out of that. So this is a descending wedge. So this could actually move quite a bit. It could be a huge move coming out of there. least try to test the 350 mark with the size of that wedge that was there. Not a lot of steam today. It just gradually kind of melted up, but I will keep an eye on snow tomorrow. I'm still in that position. I'm in shares in that position. Lemonade, it's got a lot of consolidation, and maybe it'll just do this until earnings. I don't know, but I don't like this. It's just sit and rattle. I mean, it's good if you're like going, if you're trading day and night, but this whole like rattle, if you got to wait 5 days to get one of these pops, that's not worth it in my opinion. Spot still looking good. Looks like it finally broke above, or maybe it did not. Maybe it did before, retested. It's hard to tell. Spot just kind of been all over the place. That's why last week when I took a position, I got out of it because it was just rattling around too much. And right now, I think earnings is this week, so we'll see. We'll finally actually get some movement out of that, some volatility in there. A very good butcher. Again, still needs to come down. Planet 13, I'm watching this one. Again, it's holding the support well, although all the EMAs and everything are starting to turn down, but it is wedging. Being said, I might try to take a position in this tomorrow if we hold here, and then look to try to capture that dollar move out of here if it breaks above all these EMAs. Right now, it looks like it broke above and retesting the 20. That looks like it's starting to move up again, but we've had multiple good news and stuff come out of this. That's why we've had these spikes, but I think someone might be loading a position here. It's hard to tell. I don't think they officially have earnings since they're like a small cap stock, so a penny stock, so they don't officially have any kind of earnings. But being said, we'll see about this one. I like this one for tomorrow as well. Evogen too high, Planter too high, Tan is actually holding well here. There could be actually a good move out of here, to be honest. Could be a good move. We'll have to see how this works out, but yeah, Tan could be good. Again, I want to wait. TSIA, I do have shares in this. I'm holding this for a longer term position for this one. Again, pretty decent size, but not so much so that if we get a correction, I'm going to be hurting. I'll just add on to that position. Another energy play, again, waiting. Energy spiked yesterday, then now it's kind of just been dying. Except for STPK, still in this one. I'm actually up pretty good in the green right now. I need it to pop back over. I want to see if we can break this all-time highs, not come back down and start playing range again. Let's hope that's not what happens. SPRQ looking good. Have a position in this small in shares as well. NIO, NIO looks just like Tesla. There's a lot of rattling right now. They had the good numbers come out today and it didn't do anything. Tesla did the same and had all those great numbers and just flopped. Actually, Tesla had a huge price target increase today up to $1,200 and it hardly did anything. So Lucid looks like we're having some movement after hours here. Maybe they finally got what they were looking for. I'm not really sure what the news was on Lucid, but I don't follow Lucid that closely because I don't really believe it's going to get very far. It could, and great for those people that hold it, but I haven't done my research on it that well. I kind of know a little bit about it being a EV SUV kind of thing, and I just don't think the market's there right now. I think they're going to flop before anything happens. That's just my opinion. Bluebird still looking good, still holding shares. NGA looks like it's coming back up too, still holding shares and leaps in this. GIK still, I just got a leap in this one. MP, I actually sold my leap out of this today. Again, we're just looking for liquidity. I'm kind of looking for some decent pops here. I think this is more of a long-term play. That's why after the pop, I kind of sold it. I know there was some news. I didn't look to see what exact news was out, but I tried to capture the play off the pop. So I ended up getting out of this play. Again, I want to get back into this after the correction. Yes, I do believe there's going to be a bigger correction at some point here. Trying to map for that. You can never get it 100%, but I think it's not too far-fetched. I don't think it's right now. I think only because of the earnings, I don't think it's right now. And then the M, I almost took this today when it popped down here against the 200 and the zone here, but I did not. Still watching this. I still like this. I would like it better. I'd like to get it down by the 1035. We get a correction. If it does get down there, I'll definitely be loading the boat on that one. 3D printing, Proto Labs still needs to come down. It's too high. Making some great moves though. I think I might as well look at Amazon. Amazon earnings is tomorrow. They've been playing well. They've been like doing this melt up. So that's one thing I haven't liked about Amazon. It's been really volatile and it's not just been smooth at all. It's like as soon as it pumps to get some bad news and then it just falls out of the sky. So Baba, I don't know. Baba is just playing range. It's again looking for earnings tomorrow. Shop, I missed the shop. Shop would be a good one to get. There's a lot priced into their contracts because it does move. It moves like Tesla. It moves like 50 to $100 increments in Amazon. So being said, I do need to look at the 110 being the new base. Before I would always say if it was under 1,000, buy it. Now we might be looking at 1,100 being the new base, but we'll have to see. I mean, if it does come back down in here, I might actually take a position. Again, everything's looking good. This might actually pop back up and play range. We'll have to see on that one. I think that's it. I looked over everything else. I didn't really see anything that really stuck out to me. Again, I think my major plays are SQ, Etsy, and Apple at the moment. Only because I believe in those companies the most. And so I'm most vested in those particular companies, especially right now, because there's still, I can't tell if it's just a oversold bounce or what it was. But being said, just to be cautious and trying to manage risk here, I've only put in those stocks that are resilient when the stock market sells off and are quick to bounce back. So that's why I have those main cores. If you can see now, I've actually listed them. I actually cleaned this up a little bit. I still got to clean up some of these charts, but I've actually listed my favorite stocks here. That essentially the ones I believe in most are typically right here. Essentially from Disney up to Tesla here are like my go-to ones that I have. I believe in the most, and then after that, it kind of dwindles off. My best pennies, obviously, are Planet 13 and Very Good Butcher. I think those are probably in my high conviction stocks as well. I just don't have them up there because of the fact that they're penny stocks. I do like to try to play the big dogs and not play mid-sized to small cap stocks. So, but being said, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you have made it this far. And until tomorrow, guys, be safe out there. Don't throw all your money at GameStop because you don't know what's going to happen. Be safe. Make that money. Make your mamas proud. Till next time, I'll see you guys later.